Hello, everyone. Looking sharp, honed by years of experience. Since you've seen 3 previous zonal finals, safe to assume you've strategized already about how you intend to go about today's quiz. It's going to be a short one, but quite the opposite of a T20 commentator staple dialogue. Doesn't matter much how many, but how. Okay, then time to invite the centerpiece of Udaan, Shri Atanu Mukherjee, GM in charge academics and acting CGM, HRD, MTI SAIL. Sir, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Ajay Poonia, sir. And very good evening to all the participants of South Zonal Final of Udaan 2022, 12th Business Leadership Quiz, and the Quizmaster, Sri Ajay Poonia, sir, and the representative from NHRD Network and the team MTI. It is indeed a great privilege for me to address the budding quizzer who have reached here after a grilling of 2 rounds of prelims. There are many who could not make it to the zonal final, so my congratulations to them for their commendable performance. Udaan Business Leadership Quiz is a flagship event of MTI, SAIL and NHRD Ranchi chapter. Udaan provides the opportunity to grow, learn, and visualize the big picture for taking up the leadership role in future. Quizzing, as you all know, is a very powerful medium for self-development and promoting the learning culture in the organization. I must congratulate the Quizmaster and Rijwan sir, who is a coordinator of Udaan 2022, Mr. Chandanath. He is also connected, and the team MTI, and all those persons associated for their sustainable efforts, which has established Udaan as a brand for quizzing. With this, I would urge all the finalists to display the finest quality of quizzing in the zonal final and make a statement for the national final. All our best wishes to you all. Thank you. Over to Ajay Poonia, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir's words, I hope, bring you at ease while also energize you to give your best. Well, at the outset, I'm pleased to lay out the agenda for you. It is to finish amongst the top 2, for it is the top 2 who qualify for the national final and bag cool prizes of rupees 25,000 and rupees 15,000 as well for finishing first and second respectively. And in admiration of your qualification in the South Zone final, you will receive a prize of rupees 5,000 each. So you're welcome. Right then. And of course, to our audience who are watching us live, you can participate simultaneously and win gift vouchers sitting at home as well. All you have to do is on Twitter, follow at NHRDN, listen to the audience question that follows every round. And on the very same question that is posted on Twitter, you have to respond with the hashtag Udaan 2022 with the right answer. If you're the quickest one with the correct answer, you will be the one selected for the prize. Right, so we'll play with the participants, we'll play with the audience sitting at home. So everybody gets to play. That's how we go about here in this quiz. Right then, data tells us anywhere over 3 answers and you are likely to qualify. Data also tells us if you're leading after round 1, you go on to win the quiz. Before the correlation is not causation, copy pasta fans, come after me. I'll move to round 1. This round is called a crossword. There's going to be 5 questions in all, and all of them will be on the buzzer. Since it's a crossword, after about 1 or 2 answers, you start seeing alphabets getting revealed for future answers alongside the number of letters in the answer. So lots of clues there for you to be able to work out the answers to these questions. There's 3 buzzers allowed. If you're the first on the buzzer, you get 10. If you're the second on the buzzer, you get 7. If you're the third on the buzzer, you get 4. There's a flat -5 for a wrong answer on the buzzer. Try and avoid that because that comes with a negative. 5 questions in all. We are ready to begin. Here is question number 1, common to all 5 of you. But before that, let me show you what's the crossword that needs to be solved. So this is the crossword. We'll go in order. We'll start with 1 down, then we go to 2 down, 3 down, 4 across, 5 across. Here's 1 down for you. This recent book argues that the ideology of growth conceals the rising inequalities and ecological destructions associated with capitalism. and points to desirable alternatives to it. Fill in the blank with a word that first began known as a radical economic theory born in the 1970s, but gaining a lot of currency these days. On the buzzer is Naveen.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
guessing
Naveen.
this is the degrowth. The future is degrowth.
The future is degrowth, a guide to a world beyond capitalism. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. That's well done. Naveen, a champion in the past of the national final, starts the South Zone final with a 10-pointer. That's well done. 10 points there to Naveen. It is indeed degrowth. So the idea of not consuming a lot and reducing the growth. So essentially, earlier it was considered to be a radical economic theory. Now it's gaining a lot of currency. All right, so that's 10 points to Naveen. We will place degrowth and go to 2 down. So 6-letter answer. Here is my question. What word that originated from the Latin word for a card originally referred to a ship commissioned in time of war to sail under a safe conduct for the exchange of prisoners or conveyance of proposals between belligerents? Its current economics usage hails from German politics in the 19th century for an agreement between rivals. These were originally ships that were used for safe conduct or exchange of prisoners. And now it's a prominent economic term, hails from politics for an agreement between rivals, and you will really regret the fact that you've missed out on this answer. That is a cartel, an agreement between rivals, right? So this is a cartel. I'm afraid nobody went for it on the buzzer. A question in the crossword went a begging, no takers for this one. We'll move on to placing cartel in the crossword. Now we go to 3 down. Here's my question for 3 down. The first mention of this term was in 1981 in reference to an anti-piracy technology. However, the origin of this ancient piece of computer jargon has been fairly unclear. In 2013, The Atlantic wrote of 7 theories of this term's origin, sometimes called thingies. What word that refers to any small module that plugs in and sticks out of a socket? On the buzzer is Cherian.
I'll guess this is dongle.
Dongle or thingies, any small module that plugs in and sticks out of a socket is indeed correct. That's the answer. This is indeed a dongle. That's a good answer there, Cherian. Gets you a +10. Well done. It is indeed a dongle. Right, 3 questions done, 2 to go. We'll place dongle. And now we go to O across. There's an R and another O in the word that I'm looking for. Starts with the letter O. Here's my question, number 4. This year, the day by which humanity has consumed all Earth can sustainably produce for the year, reached the unprecedented date of July 28. The date that's dubbed Earth Blank Day marks a tipping point when people have used up all that ecosystems can regenerate in 1 year. Please fill in the blank for me. Starts with the letter O. Preetham's the first one to go for it. Preetham.
Overshoot.
Is correct. That's the answer. This is indeed the Earth Overshoot Day. Absolutely. So all that the Earth can regenerate has been consumed in 2022 by July 28 itself, right? So it sort of talks about the day when all that we can regenerate, perhaps in a sustainable fashion, whatever that means, was consumed by 28th of July. That's a good answer there. Preetham, that gets you a +10. Very good. So diversity in terms of who's scoring points in this round. There's one more question to go as well. Let me place Overshoot. Right, 5 across. There's an L in the middle. Here's my question. To identify whether a country falls under the low income, middle income, or the high income bracket, the World Bank does not use a simple exchange rate, but a method that smoothens exchange rate fluctuations. After which titan is it named? On the buzzer is Cherian.
I'll guess this is Atlas.
This is Atlas. After which titan is it named? Your answer is Atlas, who was also said to be the world's first great geographer. That's the answer that I was looking for. This is indeed the Atlas method. That's what they use. And actually, this is a tribute question to Morocco, who's attempting to break the hegemony of the Europe and South American teams in football. So go Atlas Lions, they play a game tomorrow. Anyway, so that's a good answer there. 10 points to Cherian. Well done. So this was indeed Atlas. 4 out of the 5 answers given in the first round. A delicious and delightful display. Definitely a round that offered some crumbs of comfort for those with early advantage. But the challengers will now rise to the occasion as we move on to round 2. And it's called Challengers D. There's going to be one question to every participant. We'll start with Preetham, who gets the first question. Naveen gets the second. Cherian gets the third, in that order. So when you get a direct question, don't immediately answer. Wait for 10 seconds for somebody else to present a challenge. If somebody presents a challenge, then it's up to you to decide whether you'd like to accept the challenge and give the answer yourself for +10, -5, or you'd like to reject the challenge and let the challenger give the answer for +10 and -5. If they can't give the answer, question will come back to you, but this time only for 5 points if correct, no negatives if incorrect. And if I don't have a right answer from either one of you, the challenger or the direct participant, question goes to somebody else on the buzzer. 2 buzzers allowed after the challenge. That's for +5 and -5. Remember, you can hit the buzzer the moment question appears on screen, but for the challenge till after 10 seconds, I'm done after reading the question, and for on the buzzer for further 10 seconds. If there are multiple people hitting the buzzer on the first 10 seconds, and the first one is the challenger, the next one's just on the buzzer, and they'll have to wait for the direct participant and the challenger. Only then does the question pass to them. But if there's no challenge, then the direct participant does not need to fear negatives. There's a +10 if correct, no negatives if incorrect. All right. So we'll start with the first question. Remember, in this round, all questions have multiple parts, multiple answers. So if you're attempting, please give me all parts. Otherwise, avoid answering, because I'm not going to give you part points. And instead, what you'll be doing is you'll be helping somebody else. Maybe they know the other half and you help out with your half, and then they give a full answer. They get entire points. You don't get anything. So please keep that in mind. It's your decision, though. Right. Here's my question. The first one's going to be for Preetham. Preetham, I'll have to request you to please unmute. And others are on the buzzer. Here's my question to Preetham. In 2007, at an Apple Media Q&A session, Steve Jobs said, "We put ourselves in our customers' shoes. What do we want stuck on our products when we take them out of the box?" The answer is nothing. What industry practice was he expressing his displeasure over? Interestingly, though, this was a year after the transition from PowerPC to some other company. And that company is generally the one adopting the practice. So my question is, what practice and which company did they transition to a year before? You have a challenge coming from Cherian. What do you want to do, Preetham?
I will let him answer.
You'll let him answer. Cherian, what's your answer?
I'll say this is Intel, X is Intel, and the practice is the sticker Intel inside.
Where do you see that sticker?
On the computers, on the laptops or on the computers outside of the computer, they put a sticker Intel inside.
What laptop are you using, Cherian?
I am currently using an Intel laptop.
Oh, you're using an Intel laptop and you can see that sticker.
No.
It's an open book test for Cherian. That is indeed correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. So this is pasting stickers on computer, and Intel is generally the company who adopts this practice always have that Intel inside sticker, but Apple's not having any of it. So they don't really have those stickers. It's clean. As Steve Jobs said, what do you want stuck on your device? Nothing. Right. So that's the answer. Although Intel is now not there anymore. Now they've taken it back in-house. So anyways, that was just, they've actually made 2 transitions, one in-house, then to Motorola, then to PowerPC, then to Intel, and then now back to their in-house development. That's a good answer there, Cherian. Gets you a +10 on the challenge. That's well done. Next question will now be a direct to Naveen, who was interested on the previous question also. Naveen, did you have that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Maybe you'll have this one too. Here's your direct, others on the buzzer. Last year, a certain organization was trying to purchase one of the 13 first copies of something. It raised $40 million, but lost the bid to billionaire Ken Griffin. A year on, another such organization, which has some other name, but because they're doing the same thing that the first organization was doing, so people call them X2, right? Whatever the name is, and a 2, the second version of it. They're actually bidding for it today, as we speak. Not as we speak, maybe sometime. So my question is, what kind of organization, what organization is this? An organizational structure with no single governing authority, and what 4,543 word document is something that they were trying to bid for or purchase. There is a challenge coming from Cherian again. Naveen, what do you want to do?
I'll reject it.
So you'll let him answer?
No, I'm rejecting the challenge. So I want to answer the question.
Okay, if you want to answer the question, then you're accepting the
challenge. All right, okay, fine. I'm accepting it.
That's fine. So you can give me your answer now, Naveen. Both parts, please.
Okay, the 4,543 word document is US Constitution, and the organization is Sotheby's.
Is
the Sotheby's?
Sotheby's. All right, yeah. That is incorrect. That's a -5, Naveen. Question now goes to Cherian for +10 -5.
Yeah, I will say that the organization is the DAO, DAO. It's a short form for, I think, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And the document, like Naveen said, is the US Constitution.
And like Naveen said, thank you, Naveen, for that help on behalf of Cherian. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. It is a DAO, or a Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Like I said, a legal structure with no single governing authority. That's a DAO, and it is the US Constitution. They actually raised $40 million last year, and they're trying to bid for one of the other copies that is available, and they're going to bid for it today. So that's a +10 to Cherian. Next question will now be a direct to Cherian. Cherian, you've given me 3 consecutive answers. Yes, you've given me 3 consecutive answers. Now let's see if you can give me a 4th one. All right, here's my question for you, Cherian. Here's a direct for you, others on the buzzer. Look at the visual first. And your question is, in the late 1960s, Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, paid Warner Brothers $50,000 for the name and likeness to compete with Ford Mustang and Pontiac GTO. When Plymouth first debuted the blank 2-word answer in 1968, it was exclusive to the fastest and most powerful cars that the company could produce. A big V8 engine, heavy-duty suspension, and of course, the legendary horn. My question, what popular animated character fills the blank, and what was its horn that it paid $10,000 to customize? You have a challenge coming from Preetham.
I'll let Preetham answer.
Okay, Preetham, what is your answer?
So this is the Roadrunner, and it essentially says "meep meep" or "beep beep," like the character does.
And so that's the horn that they use, the beep beep of Roadrunner.
Yeah, the same sound. That's the sound that produces when you click menus.
On Preetham's question, Cherian presented a challenge. Cherian got a 10. On Cherian's question, Preetham presented a challenge, and Preetham also gets a 10. That is indeed correct. This is the Roadrunner, and the horn was actually beep beep, right? That's something that Roadrunner keeps saying if you're a fan of cartoons, especially this one. It's a good answer there, Preetham. That gets you a +10. Very good. Next question will be a direct to Jameer. Jameer, if you're ready, please unmute. Right, Jameer, here's your question. Enforced by local laws to prevent tax evasion and safeguard customers, X is prevalent in 2 countries. India, since 1990 by the Ministry of Civil Supplies, Department of Legal Metrology, and Y is a country, since Consumer Protection Act 2009 of that country. However, X is a hugely controversial concept since it inhibits free market, as it gives absolute power to the manufacturer over a retailer. With a 3-letter acronym, what is X and which neighboring country of India is Y? Don't answer right now, Jamir. Hold on. Right, Jamir, nobody's presenting a challenge. You can give an answer without the fear of negatives. 10 points if you are right. Tell me the concept, which has a 3-letter acronym, and which neighboring country am I speaking of?
Okay, X is MRP, maximum retail price, and the neighboring country is Bangladesh.
All right, neighboring country is Bangladesh, and X is maximum retail price.
Retail
The answer,
price.
yeah, MRP or maximum retail price. It says that it inhibits free market as it gives absolute power to the manufacturer over a retailer. It's the manufacturer that stamps MRP on any product that you buy. It is indeed MRP, and it is indeed Bangladesh. That's a lovely answer there, Jamir. There was nobody really interested on this question. That's a good answer there on the direct. Perhaps you were the only one who knew this and fell on the lap of the right person. That's 10 points to you. US, in fact, has a MSRP, which is a manufacturer's suggested retail price. In India, it's a maximum retail price, right? Retailer has no say at all. So heavy amount of criticism for that concept. That's well done. Jamir, 10 points to you. Next question will be a direct to Kapinjal, who's been uncharacteristically silent till now. Hopefully, that'll change. Here's my question to you, Kapinjal. What alternative first became available around the turn of the 20th century thanks to John Harvey X, the brother of William X? John Harvey is who you see in the visual. The founder of William X is the founder of an eponymous food company. So you have to tell me what's X. John created this for his Michigan-based chapter of the Seventh-day Adventist movement and started the Battle Creek Food Company after a bitter feud with William to manufacture it on an industrial scale with compounds called protos and right, Kapinjal, there is a challenge coming from Naveen. You have to give me X and you have to tell me what is it, what alternative did they create with protos and natos? What do you want to do, Kapinjal?
Yeah, so I'd like to give the answer.
All right, for +10, -5, Kapinjal, what's your answer?
Yeah, so the company is, of course, Kellogg's. So John Harvey Kellogg and his brother William Kellogg's. Okay, and then and then you are looking for this, right? So
what
the
alternative did they first create?
Yeah, so basically first breakfast basically with flaked cereals, so cornflakes and all. So flaked cereals,
right.
Cereals is a breakfast.
All right, Kapinjal, that's a -5. Question goes to Naveen.
Okay, the alternative, okay, the company is, of course, Kellogg's, John Harvey Kellogg and William Keith Kellogg. And the first alternative was for the soya, the soya.
So what was it an alternative for?
It was like for cereals, like basically it was for soya, like that was their initial product.
No, but what was it an alternative for? Why did they create it?
Okay, this is basically like they started for sanatoriums, for people in sanatoriums, like who are having some issues, mental issues.
Right. You've gone on a completely different track now.
Yeah,
it's a -5, Naveen. I'll move on to the next one, and that is Preetham. Preetham for +5 and -5.
Yeah, yeah. So Kellogg, and it was some sort of soya, but it was essentially the first alternative for meat, right? So vegetarian.
That is correct. That's the answer, Naveen. They did indeed create soya. I was looking for what was it an alternative for. You went into a completely different direction. I stuck around with you, hoping that you would actually tell me and tell me what it was a substitute for. They did create soya, but that was as a meat substitute with protos and natos. Those were the soya compounds that they used. And this is Morningstar Farm burgers that they still manufacture. That's actually a meat substitute. That's the answer that I was looking for. That's a -5 Kapinjal, -5 Naveen, but a +5 to Preetham. It's a good answer there, Preetham. Well done. Right. Next question, the final one will be for Purushottam. Purushottam, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Okay, here's my question. It's kind of long, but an interesting one. I couldn't really figure out what to eliminate from here. Hopefully you'll like it. For over a decade, two across-the-pond companies, X and Y, have been involved in a hand-to-hand combat, sponsoring research papers and even dismissing each other's journal publications. In 2010, X published a research commissioned by the European Tissue Symposium, ETS, claiming there are significant hygiene risks with jet air dryers. The other company, Y, called it a false claim and commissioned a University of Bradford report. In 2016, the National Advertising Division of US recommended that Y discontinue its video, paper towels aren't as clean as you think, following X's challenge. So they've, cat and mouse game goes on. Tell me both the companies. There is a challenge coming from Kapinjal. Purushottam, what would you like to do?
Let Kapinjal answer.
Let Kapinjal answer. Kapinjal.
Yeah. So yeah, so my guess would be so as you were saying about cleaning and all. So X would be Dyson, So X would be Dyson, and
Quick, Kapinjal.
you are looking for Y. So Y is also a company, right?
Okay, Kapinjal, I need
as
an
you were
answer.
saying, as you were saying that they also publish a journal, so I will say a Campbell soap.
Sorry, what was the other one you said? What is the next second answer?
Kimberly Clark. So Dyson and Kimberly Clark.
Dyson and?
Kimberly Clark.
That is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Kapinjal, took you some time to finally get to it. That is indeed correct. So the two across the pond companies being Kimberly Clark and Dyson, that's the answer. They keep publishing research papers and journals, and eventually, there's no eventually actually. They keep just keep dismissing each other's research papers, saying that no, yours is funded, yours is sponsored, yours has a propaganda, and so on and so forth. That cat and mouse game keeps going on and on. That's a good answer there, Kapinjal. On the challenge, gets you a +10. Well done. Good answer there. Right. So that's the end of 2 rounds. The South Zone final completes half the quiz. Truly, they're proving to be a preeminent force in this quiz, setting reputations for challenges that lay ahead. But we'll append their search for a brief while as I ask a question to the audience. All right, audience, you have to play along. You know how it works. Head over to Twitter after I ask the question, not right now. Listen to the question first. Go to Twitter on the same question. Please respond with your right answer. Here's my question. The chart of openness ratio of different countries shows Hong Kong, Luxembourg, and Singapore at the top with counts over 300, while Brazil 28.8, US 27.4, and Sudan 1.3 are at the bottom. India and China rank 153 and 161 respectively, and the openness ratio of a country is calculated by adding what two quantities and dividing the sum by the nation's GDP. The question being, the openness ratio of a country is calculated by adding what two quantities and dividing the sum by the nation's GDP. That's the question for the audience. Quickly head over to Twitter and respond in with your answers. And when you come back, take a look at the scores after 2 rounds. Right, welcome back to taking a look at the scores after the end of 2 rounds. I hope you've given your answers on Twitter already. So this is what the scorecard looks like. At this point, halfway into the quiz, it's Cherian from Indian Oil who's leading with a score of 40 points, some fine answers that came from him. And then in second place at this point is Preetham with a score of 25. Then is Jameer at 10, Kapinjal at 5, Naveen yet to actually has opened his account, but then he got a couple of negatives. So he goes back to 0, and Purushottam is yet to open his account. So that's how we're placed. That's how we stacked after the end of 2 rounds. And now we'll proceed ahead, powered by the desire of their devotion, steered by humility and hard work, and driven by their magnificent ability for the monumental achievement that lies ahead. They will now work in pairs. It's round 3, and it's called paired impaired. Now, in this round, each one of you will get a direct question, but unlike the previous round wherein you had a predefined order, now the order is defined by how you were placed on the scoreboard. So at this point, because it's Cherian and Preetham who are currently leading, Cherian, you'll get the first question. Preetham, you'll get the second question. Then we'll pair up Jameer and Kapinjal. Jameer, you'll get the third question, and Kapinjal, you'll get the fourth question. And finally, Naveen gets the fifth one, and Purushottam gets the sixth one. Now, what does that mean? The first question will be a direct to Cherian, and Preetham, you're paired with him. Both of you don't need to press the buzzer. Question will come. Cherian, you give me the answer. If you're correct, I won't declare whether you're right or wrong. I'll pass the question to Preetham. He has to accept or reject. If he accepts it and the answer was correct, Cherian gets 10, the paired participant gets 5. If the answer was incorrect and the paired participant accepts it, both the direct and the paired participants, both of you get a -5 each. If, however, the direct participant gives an answer and the paired participant thinks that that's wrong, they can reject it and correct it themselves. If they do that and they're correct about it, the direct participant gets a -5, the paired participant gets a +10. If, however, your attempted correction is also wrong, you still get a -5, and question passes to 2 participants on the buzzer in order for +5 and -5. And now very importantly, there is an option of passing also, which is only for the direct and the paired participant, not for the participants on the buzzer. Because there's a negative attached to a wrong answer, you can say pass and you don't get a negative. That's about it for both the direct and the paired participant. So we'll start. The first question will be for Cherian, and Preetham, you're paired with him. So I'll request you to please unmute. Right, here's my question. Cherian, for you, and followed by Preetham. Others on the buzzer. Prior to Alessandro Volta's battery, the only way for people to generate electricity was to rub various materials together. But it was neither easy nor practical to generate useful electrical power. So he reasoned biomimetics as the solution, for which he cut out coin-like discs of various materials and started stacking them in different sequences to see if he could find any combination that would produce electricity. My question is, what is biomimetics? What does that mean?
Pass.
Cherian, I need an answer. Not
I'll
answering.
pass.
You'll
I'll
passing.
pass.
Preetham?
Yeah.
All right. Preetham, do you have an answer of your own?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So
+10
biomimetics
-5.
Yeah, so biomimetics is essentially like you are imitating something from that is already present in the nature into your solution, so that in the nature, if it works, then your solution also it works. So you're directly being inspired by it to create this thing.
Right, Preetham, you were answering for +10 and -5. You do not get a -5. You get a +10 instead. That is indeed correct. It is essentially when you imitate something that's living, right? So when you say that, imitate something from nature, something that already exists, and you sort of bring that into some kind of manufacturing or some human creation, it's called biomimetics. That is correct. Preetham gets you a +10. And now, Preetham, you get a direct question. Cherian, you have to listen to his answer and decide accordingly. Here's my question for you, Preetham. In the 1960s, who announced his intention to build an experimental prototype community of tomorrow? It was to be the creation of a living blueprint for the future, unlike any place else in the world. An entirely new city built from scratch. But he died soon after and the vision was scrapped. Preetham.
So can I answer or do I have to wait?
Yes, you can answer.
I'll say this is Walt Disney.
All right, goes to Cherian. Accept, reject, pass. He says Walt Disney.
I accept.
You accept. Both of you think this is Walt Disney. I think this is indeed Walt Disney. That is correct. That's well done. 10 points there to Preetham. Back-to-back tenors for you. And Cherian, that's a 5-pointer for you. Well done. Very good. So 10 to Preetham, 5 to Cherian. We move on to our second pair. That's Jameer and Kapinjal. If you can both unmute yourselves. Jameer, you go first. And Kapinjal, you follow. All right. Jameer, here's my question for you. The newer senses of the word are probably a little more than a century old. A common phrase, war of blank, refers to a sustained effort to steadily wear down the defenses of an opponent, with the result that they are rendered weaker and less effective. From this comes the meaning that refers to a reduction in numbers by a gradual and natural wearing down. My question is, what word used widely in the corporate context? Jameer, whenever you're ready. You don't have to answer.
Okay, I'll pass the question.
You'll pass. Passing it to Kapinjal. Are you answering +10, -5?
I'll also pass.
You'll pass. So we go to Preetham. Preetham for +5 and -5.
Attrition, war of attrition.
War of attrition is correct. When you wear down the opposition, that is indeed the answer. That's well done there. Preetham gets you a +5 to follow those 5 and 10 that you got on the previous couple of questions. That's very good. It is indeed attrition, term widely used in corporate context. Very good. Next question will be a direct to Kapinjal. Jameer, you're paired with him. Please unmute. Kapinjal, here is my question for you. Until last month, what was a status symbol or an identification badge? It used to be free. Back in 2017, the company recognized the confusion between identity and thus paused the service until last year when they bungled it up again. And now it's available for rupees 719 per month. What service am I speaking of? Kapinjal.
Okay, so I should give, right?
Yeah. If you want to, there's a negative.
Yeah. So I'll give. So
Okay.
so this is the blue tick of verified profiles in Twitter.
Okay. Jameer, he says blue tick on Twitter. Accept, reject, pass.
Accept.
That is correct. That's the answer. Well done there. Kapinjal gets you a +10, and well done, Jameer, for accepting it also. That gets you a +5. Very good. We'll move on to our final pair, and that is going to be Naveen followed by Purushottam. If you can both unmute. All right, we ready? Here's my question for Naveen. In his statement to the Royal Commission on Indian Currency and Finance, who said, supposing there is a gain arising from low exchange, whence does this gain arise? It is held by most businessmen that is a gain to the export trade, and so many people have blindly believed that it must be said to have become an article of faith common to all that a low exchange is a source of gain to the nation. Now, if low exchange means high internal prices, it will at once become clear that this gain is not a gain coming to the nation from outside, but is a gain from one class at the cost of another class in the country. Naveen, this is for you.
The answer now, or
Yeah, you can answer now whenever you're ready.
okay, fine. I'm just guessing. Is it B.R. Ambedkar?
All right, I'll pass the question to Purushottam. He says B.R. Ambedkar. Accept, reject, pass.
Pass.
You'll pass?
Yes.
You don't think this is B.R. Ambedkar? Why do you not think this is B.R. Ambedkar? This is B.R. Ambedkar. That is correct. That's well done, Naveen. Gets you a +10. Good answer there. It is B.R. Ambedkar who also wrote the book, The Problem of the Rupee, where he kept on suggesting that we should, do away with rupee after a while. I mean, he said that we should keep replacing the rupee to check for hoarding and also to check for inflation. Anyway, that's a good answer there. Naveen gets you a +10. And now a direct to Purushottam, and Naveen, you're paired with him. Purushottam, here's my question for you. Some companies which offer this kind of insurance in India are HDFC, Ergo, Future Generali, Tata AIG, Tokyo, etc. They insure against unforeseen and physical loss or damage, even during transit. Usually the formula is used, this formula is used as valuation for owners, cost price plus 20% or selling price minus 30%. Some of the exclusions include natural aging, gradual deterioration, loss during repair, reframing, restoring, retouching, aridity, humidity, exposure to light, heat unless caused by fire, storm, frost, and at fairs. What kind of insurance is this? Giving you the formula also. I've told you what kind of exclusions there are. Purushottam, are you trying?
It's property insurance.
You're trying. You're saying property insurance. I'll pass the question to Naveen. Accept, reject, pass.
I'm rejecting that answer. I want to give my answer.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. Well, this is for painting, fine art. So that's how they gradually deteriorate, loss during repairing, reframing.
All right. That is correct. Naveen, well done. A -5 to Purushottam. It's the art, insurance, fine art, painting, etc. That's okay. And a +10 to Naveen for rejecting his answer and giving an answer of his own. So 10 to Naveen, -5 to Purushottam. And that brings us to the end of the third round as well. The responses have been beyond extraordinary. The experience beyond price. The glory, it is elusive still. Not just the ecstasy of ultimate success, but the taste of victory when it truly matters against other prize hunters. They have stacked themselves on the scoreboard, which is where we headed, but that's on the other side of an audience question. Right, audience, here's my question for you. Bottle green dresses were a rage in Victorian era. To achieve this shade, the fabric was dyed using large amounts of what chemical element? A darling of murder mystery writers. Unfortunately, women suffered nausea, impaired vision, skin reactions, and in extreme cases, even death. So what chemical element am I speaking of? That's your question. Head over to Twitter, give the answer on the same question, and come back and we'll tell you the scores and we'll take you through to the final round. Right, welcome back. Welcome back to after the end of the penultimate round as we get ready to take a look at the scoreboard heading into the final round. This is what it looks like. As you can see, the lead has changed and it's not Cherian who's leading. It's Preetham who's now leading, who had a strong start to the previous round. And as a result, he moves up to first place and at 50. Cherian's gained a few points, but not as much as Preetham did. So he's currently second and not too far behind Preetham. He's on 45. And then coming from behind is Naveen at 20. Jameer and Kapinjal, who've done well for themselves in the previous round, both of them at 15 apiece. But Purushottam is continuing to increasing the margin between himself and the others. So it's 50, 45, 20, 15, 15, and -5. That's how they stacked up as we head into the final round. For 4 of them, this is going to be the last dance. And for the remaining 2, a handsome prelude to greater glories that lie ahead. For one of them, like how he claimed the Udaan summit a couple of years ago, takes the long walk into the battle again. He's facing a stiff challenge because he's joined by some equally determined 5 others. Now or never, it's the final frontier. It's triple trouble. This round has 5 questions, all of them on the buzzer. You'll have 15 seconds of time, 3 buzzers allowed for every question. If you're the first on the buzzer, and if you're the second on the buzzer, and if you're the third on the buzzer, if provided the question keeps going to you, you have 3 choices. Either you can step up or you can step down before you give the answer, or not say anything and give the answer. If you step up and give the answer, you get a +20 if correct, a -10 if incorrect. You step down and answer and give a wrong answer, you get a -2 only. That's not too much of a negative, so you can always try to take an answer and step down. If you don't get it right, it's only a -2, but if you get it right, you get a +5. If, however, you don't say anything and you give the answer, you get a +10 and a -5 for a wrong answer. You have to say the word step up or step down before the answer, not after the answer. So please keep that in mind. You must say step up or step down before the answer. Only then I consider. You don't have to rush into with the answer. You don't have to say I step up, my answer is this. No. You can say step up, allow me to register and confirm that yes, you've decided to step up or step down, and then you can give the answer. You don't have to rush into the answer once when I've identified that you have to give the answer. But don't take too much time thinking and looking here, there, and all that. Say step up, I say step up, and then you can give your answer. All right, I hope that's clear. 100 points to be won, still is anybody's game, but early advantage helps. Here is my first of 5 questions. One more thing, you won't see the entire text of the question, you'll see some part of it, but in that some part and the accompanying visual, if you think you know the answer, hit the buzzer, but don't ask me to complete the question. The fact that you hit the buzzer means you know the answer. There's no need for me to continue and complete the question. So here's my question, common to all of you. Number 1. Designed to promote relaxation and mindfulness, this collection of soundscapes is made with sifting through and clicking together. On the buzzer is Jameer. Yes, Jameer.
I'll step up.
You will step up and
Say Lego.
And you will say Lego. All right, I'll complete. Is made with sifting through and clicking together of the company's products. The head of creative said it was like composing with 10,000 tiny instruments. What are these sounds made with? Jameer says he wanted to step up and he said this is Lego bricks. That is correct. That's the answer. That's well done, Jameer. Gets you a +20 on the step up, a very valuable +20, brings you within touching distance of the leaders. Remember, top 2 qualify. So we're fighting for 2 places. And after the end of question 4, I'll eliminate and I'll prevent from answering to those for whom it's practically impossible, mathematically impossible to qualify in the final. So if you cannot dent the top 2 positions for the on the 5th question, I'll have to ask you to not be a part of it. But till that time, we have 3 more questions to go. So you can make your case stronger and stronger like Jameer did, and as a result he gets a +20. Here's question number 2. A professor of mechanical engineering, some of the papers he's published include regression equation for estimating the maximum cooling load of a greenhouse and apparatus and methods for decontaminating air supply in enclosed spaces, and also energy savings resulting from using a near surface earth to air heat exchanger for pre-cooling in hot desert climates. His name is Dr. Saud Ghani. What is his most important contribution for which the world is thanking him right now? On the buzzer is Preetham.
So I will step down.
You will step down, +5 -2.
I'll say this is, he's essentially designed the Qatar World Cup stadium so that they remain cool, right? So the cooling aspect of the Qatar World Cup stadiums, he's helped with that.
One of the papers he's written is energy savings resulting from using a near surface earth to air heat exchanger for pre-cooling in hot desert climates is correct. That's the answer. He designed the cooling systems at the Qatar World Cup stadium. That's ongoing. That's a good answer. For some reason, Preetham wants to keep others in the competition. Right? So he's been kind to other competitors. So that means the fact that he decided to step down means he gets a +5. So 5 points for stepping down. And giving the right answer, you get points anyway. That's well done. 5 points to you, Preetham. 3 more questions to go. Here's number 3. Now in its 5th year, the winner of the 2022 Blank Photo Awards is this close-up view, which the photographer titled Big Bang into an Icelandic volcano just before eruption. My question is, what equipment fills in the blank? On the buzzer is Preetham. Yes, Preetham.
So I will step up.
You will step up this time.
Yeah, I'll say this is done using drones, right? So this is any photos clicked using drones. So that is the equipment.
So the equipment that fills in the blank, you think is drones. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. These are the drone photo awards. So good answer there, Preetham. Back-to-back answers. Last time you decided to step down and I gave you a little pep talk. So this time you decided to step up, and as a result, you get a +20. That's very good. Good answer there, Preetham. Very good. So these are the drone photo awards. It's called a Big Bang. I mean, this photo is called a Big Bang. It basically peaks into some Icelandic volcano just before eruption. Right, good answer. Preetham gets a +20 as we move on to our penultimate question of the South Zone final. Here it is on your screen. When Uber acquired them for $3 billion, on the buzzer is Kapinjal. Yes, Kapinjal.
Yeah, so I would like to step up.
Step up. What is your answer?
Yeah. So my answer is this is Karim, right? This is a logo of Karim's in Middle East. So my answer would be basically food tech mafia. Those guys, those kind of.
Kapinjal, what's your answer?
Food tech, or basically food delivery mafia, this kind of.
All right, I will ignore what you said afterwards because your first answer was Kareem, right? That's what I will consider, and I'll tell you what the question was. When Uber acquired them for $3 billion, it caused a ripple effect in the wider Middle East ecosystem. And so over the past couple of years, we've seen a proliferation of new startups emerging from across the region founded by their former employees, thus earning the nickname Blank Mafia. Which company am I looking for? Your answer, you said, was Step Up, Kareem, and then you wanted to change it to Food Tech. I only consider first answer. It is indeed Kareem. That is correct, Kapinjal. Why are you making my life difficult? All right, +20. Don't change your answers. I mean, it's pointless changing your answers because I only consider the first one. So it's a +20 there. Good answer, Kapinjal. Now we move on to the final one. But before that, I'll just take a look at the scoreboard and I'll tell you if there is anybody that I'll have to prevent from participating on the final question. Just give me a moment. I'll tell you where we stand. And in case we have to ask somebody to not be a part of the last question. So the cutoff right now for second place is 45, which means Purushottam, you're at -5, no matter what you do on the last question. Unfortunately, you will not be able to qualify for the final. So thank you for playing, Purushottam. Congratulations for qualifying for the South Zone final. Unfortunately, this is where I'll have to ask you to not be a part of the last one. And everybody else is in the game And also to Preetham, because you've ensured your qualification, so I'll have to request you to not hit the buzzer. You can, so both Preetham and Purushottam can hit the buzzer. If nobody else is hitting the buzzer, then you can, I'll let you give the answer. Otherwise, it's essentially a fight for the second place. That's between Naveen, Cherian, Jameer, and Kapinjal. So Naveen, for your qualification, the only way it works out is if Cherian hits the buzzer and decides to take a negative, right? So you can't be the first one on the buzzer, although you can press the buzzer, but if there's somebody else who's on the buzzer, I will give them priority because it doesn't make sense for you to give the answer on the first attempt. But you can hit the buzzer, but I'll manually decide what the order will be. That order is essentially decided on the basis of whose qualification is possible, what are the various permutations and combinations. Right. And then, of course, Jameer and Kapinjal, both of you are on 35. Cherian, you're on 45. So for the three of you, whoever hits the buzzer first, out of the 6 of you, the 3 of you will get priority. Right? I hope that's clear.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to the final question, common to essentially 3 of you, but the others can show their interest, but they'll have to wait if the 3 of you decide to press the buzzer first. Here's my question. Final one for the South Zone final. Found in the 1980s, Kapinjal, go for it. What connects?
Okay, so I'd like to step up.
You'd like to step up.
Yeah. So
and your answer is?
My answer is like land being acquired from some other country or something. Okay, like
that's
most
a minus
money
10
spent.
Kapinjal. I'll pass the question to Jameer.
I'm just okay. I'll step up.
Step up.
And I'll say US dollar.
Is also incorrect. That's a minus 10. I will complete the question because there's one more buzzer possible. Found in the 1980s, this is a network of individuals and committees who believe in an idea that has been around since ancient Rome. APF being the most successful example, and in India, it first featured in the Economic Survey 2016-17, prepared by the then Chief Economic Advisor Arvind Subramanian. What concept am I looking for?
Can I say helicopter money?
Oh, wait, you'll have to hit the buzzer, Cherian. Can't say anything randomly. All right, Cherian, you're trying. Go for it now.
Yeah. Helicopter money.
Your answer is helicopter money? No, I won't give it. Right, that's not the answer. The answer that I was looking for, Purushottam is showing interest, but 3 buzzers are done. So minus 5 to Cherian. Purushottam, you can give me an answer. Not for points though. You're muted, Purushottam.
Is it digital currency? It's my
Not
guess.
digital currency. The answer
Can I
that
give
I was
one more
looking,
answer? UBI?
That is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for, but I've already given you a negative there,
It's fine,
Cherian.
it's fine.
But yes, I know why that's fine. Okay, so this was Universal Basic Income, BIEN being the Basic Income Earth Network. This is APF, the Alaska Permanent Fund, which basically from all the oil royalties that they get, they distribute it amongst all their citizens in Alaska. And in fact, there was a BIEN Congress that took place in Hyderabad 3 years ago. So the concept being Universal Basic Income, which was originally suggested in 2016-17 by in the Economic Survey by the then CEO Arvind Subramanian, saying that it's an idea whose time has come. It's been 6 years and still an idea whose time has come. Right. So that brings us to the end of what has been a fabulous, fabulous display of quizzing here at the South Zone Final. With those answers, we had all the answers that we got prior to this one. It's a fairly strong field, and we saw how most of the answers were given We will describe the winners with more and more superlatives when we identify them. But for now, I'll ask one final audience question. All right, audience, final question for you. Here it is. When Giovanni Maria Farina in 1709 remarked to his brother, "I have found a fragrance that reminds me of an Italian spring morning, of mountain daffodils and orange blossoms after the rain." Which city was he in? It reminded him of an Italian spring morning. So he wasn't in Italy. So don't give Italy, one of the Italian cities, as an answer. Give an answer as some other city in some other country. Right? So which city was he in? That reminded him of an Italian spring morning. Right then, we're all set for the final declaration of scores here at the South Zone Final. The scoreboard at the South Zone Final identifying the last two vacant berths at the 12th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz on your screens. Well, we have a winner, and it's not the one that's been a winner in the past. It's a new winner, a new face here at Udaan Business Leadership Quiz. The winner for the South Zone Final with a score of 75 points, which is incidentally the highest amongst all the zonal finals we conducted, is Preetham Upadhya from Barclays. Congratulations. And joining him, slight bit of prophecy for me, slight clairvoyance. Like I said earlier, perhaps it could work like a good luck charm, the kind of introduction that I gave for Rohan yesterday, similar introduction that I gave for Cherian. They've tried to be in the zonal finals, but it's a hurdle that they struggle to steer past until now. Joining Preetham in the national final from the South Zone is Cherian Varghese from Indian Oil. Congratulations to the both of you. Very well done. A masterclass in quizzing. And of course, those little interventions with all the various answers accumulating points slowly, little by little along the way have placed you in the national final of this quiz. And hopefully now you'll write a different script for yourselves in the national final, preferably a more enduring one for yourself. So congratulations to both Preetham as well as Cherian, the two qualifiers of the national final. And congratulations, of course, to the winners of the audience questions. This was the 12th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz organized by Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network in association with IILM University. Onwards, the Udaan wagon marches to the national final, its ultimate destination, to a day where challenges will be unleashed from the depths, pairings will be impaired, and big prizes, of course, will be won. Whether it's a scramble to the top or a lopsided show for the title, one thing is certain, it'll be a fun one. It will be a Sunday fun day. Wow, a pun as bad as that. If I had a mic right now, I'll perhaps drop it. But anyway, our appointment is due. It's at 8 p.m. on 18th, the Sunday. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.